Hello, and welcome to Mind and Money Show, where we talk all things mindset, money management, and our entrepreneurial journey. Along the way, we're going to throw in some amazing guests for good measure. I'm Shane Hyland.
I'm Gareth Shears. This show is going to change your life and teach you skills that school never taught you.
Boom.
England are going to win that.
Really?
Yeah. England are going to win it. Captain Harry Kane, who qualified as Ireland, as did Declan Rice and Jack Grealish, are three players, has 100% success rate in shots on target in the World Cup. Only time ever. He has 7 shots in all of the World Cups he's taken part in, and he scored 7 goals. 100% success rate.
I probably have to start today by apologising.
That's most days, isn't it?
To everyone watching. As you saw, if you watched the YouTube channel last week, I made a prediction and said England would win the World Cup. And I suppose, working in the world of finance, we should never make any recommendations, give advice, and probably that's bordering on speculation. I got it wrong, but there is a reason why Harry Kane missed the second penalty.
No, you got it all wrong.
It went in there.
Yeah, let me show you. That's how you do it.
You just put it over by a mile.
Yeah, that's how I won a World Cup though with England.
Okay.
Much better. That's the one.
Sure.
Yeah, it's good.
See? He was taught well. That kick
I could have speculated England would have lost.
has been longer and further than Paul Thorburn's 70 yards, 8 1/4 inch kick in 1986.
Is that how long it was?
What, the time scale or the length of the kick?
Kick.
Yeah.
Wow. That was
Long.
a hell of a kick, wasn't it?
Did they have sand back then? Or there was no kicking tees?
No, they wouldn't have used sand back then. They would have just dug the ground up, I think.
Jeez.
Because sand, I think sand came in. Neil Jenkins used to use sand a lot, and then it went to the kicking tees they use now. No, I don't. No, they used to just dig. They used to dig the ground up, didn't they, and kind of make a bit of a pile out of the earth.
But we all know now why he missed it, because dear old Johnny Wilkinson is, as you can see in the video, got it kind of wrong.
Johnny Wilkins, legend of the game.
Talking of well, let's come on to speculation a bit, but
Or rugby.
Yeah, let's go
Rugby,
because
yeah, blinking heck, World Rugby has taken a bit of a Welsh and English rugby have. Ireland's doing all right though. Old Farrell, he's done all right in fairness.
we're where we should be, a bit like a fairy on a Christmas tree, up at the top, number one.
You number one in the world.
Number one in the world.
Wow.
The best rugby team on this planet.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah, but Farrell's done pretty well there.
I thought you should never go back to an old girlfriend. Why have you brought Mr. Gatland back?
Well, I think it's a pretty easy one, isn't it? Because we're 10 months out from a World Cup. Yeah. And if you bring somebody brand new in, they're going to have to learn the game, learn the players, learn the systems, understand the Welsh culture of the goldfish bowl that we sit in. Well, Gatland doesn't need to do that, does he? He can just come in. And I said this, there's a reason why he was over here commentating with Amazon for the rugby. He wasn't all the way over from New Zealand just for the fun of it. I'm sure Welsh Rugby Union will be able to talk to them. Because I think there's a bigger... Gatland's taken over, I think, because they had no choice but to get rid of Wayne Pivac, because the results just weren't there. You know, we lost to Italy and Georgia at home, which is a bit of a...
So the regions have
nonsense.
no money. The WRU are saying, we have no money to give you. And within a matter of days, they agreed
They
a
find £1 million,
compensations
don't they?
package to get rid of one coach, and free from his contract, bring in another coach, and they haven't even sorted the backroom staff out yet.
No, I don't know about that, but I do think they'll probably end up getting rid of most of the backroom staff.
But do you know how they make their money? Last Sunday, we saw Santa in the home players' dressing room. And at
Well,
32
30 quid was it?
£32 to see Santa.
Each.
No, for the three of us, it wasn't the cheapest of things.
That's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap. I went up on a railway train up to the mountain and cost the best part of 70 quid to see Santa in the freezing cold. But I think with the Warren Gatland thing, there's a reason they've done it, because it is easy. He can come in and he will be able to make some quick changes to things. But there's a bigger picture. Warren Gatland will become director of rugby in Wales. That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Do you
He can
think
become director of rugby and then they'll bring another coach.
it was reactive because
No, they've been planning this.
Eddie Jones was going to be going? Did you think they were fearful that England would ask Warren?
Well, supposedly they have, didn't they? But I don't think he would have gone. Well, I guess unless they put the right amount of money up. But he said, like you say, he'd never be allowed back into Wales, would he, if he ever did it? No, I think it's an interesting one. It's a hell of a time to get rid of your head coaches, though, 10 months out from the World Cup, especially England. But I get it; they had no real direction in what they were doing today. And but Eddie Jones is a good coach. If you look at his statistics, he's got some good stats for England. He's the most successful England coach ever, and I'm sure his statistics for World Cup kind of placement is really high as well.
With Japan and all them, and he's gone back to potentially
It's
Australia.
probably, but he won't mind though. Eddie won't care. He's got thick skin. He'll move on to another role. He would rather pay him out. Same with Wayne Pivac. He'll pay him out. He'll probably take a bit of a sabbatical now, and he'll pick up a role somewhere.
Isn't it different to
These
the
guys
world,
don't
to
care.
our world in finance? If we get things wrong, we have to either give back compensation, claim through our insurance, or go into the FSCS. If somebody in sport gets it wrong, they get a big wedge of cash to go off into the sunset.
Yeah, that's why they'll never. And that's why someone like Wayne Pivac would have resigned. Nor Eddie Jones. They're going to resign, are they? They resign. They're only going to pay out.
No
But
money.
if you got X amount of years left on their contract, they have to be paid out.
So here's two things. I got last week England winning the World Cup wrong. I still think if they'd won against France, they would win it because they would have beaten Morocco. Argentina are going to be in the final. Argentina will win it.
They didn't, though, did they?
And it will be nice. What I did see over the weekend, there was a couple of years ago, they had an octopus in the World Cup in Germany, I think, making the predictions. They got the first two right and they made a big thing about the octopus. Yeah, they put two things in a bowl and the octopus would go to one place or the other, and that the flag would be there. But someone has predicted from the start that it would be, through some algorithms, it would be Argentina and France in the final, with Argentina winning it. Argentina are in one semi-final against Croatia. France are playing Morocco in the other one. It's not been a bad...
Wow. If an algorithm can prove that, wow.
Now, it's a 1 in a billion because of all the things, because the FIFA is dodgy and the referees are useless and all of that stuff.
Has it been that bad, has it?
It hasn't been the best, in fairness.
I haven't watched any of it.
Superb.
Suffice to say, I haven't turned it on. Oh, I lie. I think I put the first 10 minutes of the England game on and then thought, what am I doing? There's far more interesting things to do.
I'll colour code my socks. So, I got it
actually
wrong.
polish
Right.
my shoes, actually.
First thing, who's going to win the Six Nations? Because last week, right, I saw Wales having the hope. Two people that are ex-rugby players have said now Wales are going to win the Six Nations. So who's going to win the Six Nations?
No, but we'll come in the top three.
Who's going to win it then? Come on, neck on the line.
France or Ireland?
Okay, who's going to win the World Cup?
France.
Where are Wales going to get?
I'm going to say quarterfinals. We'll get out of the group stages, get the quarterfinals. We might get a semis, actually. I think we might get the semi-finals. I guess it depends on the squad he can deal with and what kind of coaching team he can put around him.
And how much tape and I was going to say Ralgix, but it's not right. DP he can muster up to keep all of those old boys' joints.
Well, that is the problem. Like there's bigger issues in Welsh rugby. We've got a grassroots level coming through. All the players that are old now in the team are the ones that he developed when he came in, which are the old under-20s, under-21s who came through the system. We just don't have those players coming through now. And I think that's the bigger picture of Warren Gatland. I think they're going to bring him in at director rugby level so he can deal with the grassroots level, and then they'll bring a coach in under him and a coaching team. It'd be nice to have Scott Robinson.
Alan Wynne will be winning his 877th cap of the World Cup.
To be honest, I think he's got to go.
Don't start on here. You know, he's 6'5". He can
No,
win,
it's not
have a go at you.
that. I just, I know maybe there isn't many to replace him, but you're not giving the opportunity for other people to take over if you're still keeping someone like that in the team.
Do you know what was really good the last day?
At some point, you've got to realise at some point you've got to retire. You know what I mean, from rugby. No offence, he's had a brilliant career, but I think sometimes you've got to realise when it's time to hang your boots up.
We should be talking about finance, but I suppose this is more. Do you know what I saw, which was evident the
Saving
last
finance.
weekend? Yeah.
I think some
financial
advisors, they've got to know when to hang their boots up.
Do you know there's been some green shoots, and especially because we're based here in Cardiff. Cardiff have had, in their last 3 games, they've won 2, and the 2 games that they won, they held the opposition to 0. Now, that in itself, no matter what level you're playing at, is an achievement. You've won 2 of the last 3 games to 0. Surely there's evidence of some green shoots, and like, I'm a big fan of Jared Evans, not Jared.
Yeah, that's enough.
I think he's superb. You know,
He's small though, isn't he?
Doesn't matter what size you are. Let's
we
ask Mr. Shane Williams to come in and have a chat. But I think he's
from a defensive
superb.
point of view, at
Yeah.
10. I know they're not meant to be there,
But like for them, and I know they're only one region, to keep two games of 3 to 0 in itself, it's not the who you're playing or anything, but it's probably the mental resilience of that. Because what didn't they play a game last year? Was it against Benetton? I can't think of Treviso, one of these things, and they were 40 odd up at half time to 0. And then at the second half, they went out with the intention of keeping it to 0. And the mentality wasn't there because they gave away 14 points or something. But they've come on, you know, Arthur and Tristan and Di Young and all these in there seem to be building up a little bit of resilience.
They built some momentum
mentally.
now, haven't they? They've been there a while now. They've managed to...
Which might
things.
transfer into to Warren, and as they open up Gatlin's gates and go in on the bus there, they may have some hope in the Six Nations.
Yeah, like I said, there's some bigger issues in Welsh rugby, isn't there? You know, the regions are not performing as well as they should do, or well as they historically have done. The WRU is an absolute mess. You know?
Got a nice hotel.
Yeah, but they've done that all wrong, haven't they? You know what I mean? They thought they like stick to what you know. You're not hoteliers. Do you know what I mean? It is stick to what you know.
Is Ryan Evans in now? Is he? He's come in. Is he? I think he said get rid of the Cardigan Brigade or something like that a week or 2 ago.
Did he?
Something like that, yeah.
Is that back to when Will Carlin said all those old farts, wasn't it? Remember? That's,
But no, it's probably a bit like in the world of finance. There is what has been done in the past, and by that I mean, you know,
finance is very archaic, just like
it is.
WRU.
But the WRU of one club, one vote, or whatever it may be, is kind of wrong. And maybe the concept of
I'm not football at one club.
is it not in the rugby as well?
I don't know.
I thought I read somewhere that they had the same type of thing, and they all have.
It seems to be the lower end club to rule the roost with the WRU.
I don't know how many rugby clubs are in Wales, but they all seem to have a say in it, and it should be. It's a multi-million-pound organisation.
It's £100 million business.
Maybe they shouldn't have those that are aligned to a club in the valleys of Swansea or Cardiff that have an association and an emotional attachment with the club shouldn't be then sent forward to represent that club at, I don't know, AGM level or voting level, because it's going from club level to, you know, a pillar of the community to discussing multi-million-pound deals. There needs to be a disassociation, because that was the past. This is the now, and it's probably the exact same in the world of finance, that what was done in the past in the world of personal finance is totally different to the way it's done now, because a previous generation never borrowed, probably apart from a mortgage, whereas now there is such a culture of borrow, and like we saw the last day, and we'll probably do another chat about this day. What is the name of that short-term borrowing?
Klarna.
Where that has a massive impact on.
Well, it will be taken into account now for mortgages, won't it?
Yeah.
I think it was July, was it, came into account? Where they're actually going to start taking into account, for lenders will be looking at it.
And it seems a negative.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Everything you like check out on, you see that Klarna on there.
But it's easier to do that and not know the consequences. It's a re-education of finance that people need to be aware of.
People
what they
won't
do.
realise until they're to that point that, I'm going to go buy a house now, and it comes up like, you've had too many of these things, and it's going to affect your borrowing, affect your credit score.
because it's seen as if you get something that's costing 30 quid or pay it back over the next 3 months at a tenner a month. But then when you go to borrow and they go, there's £10 a month going out for that thing, does the underwriter say, well, technically they can't, they're struggling because they're putting a short-term lending on finance?
Yeah,
The
that's the underwriter's view on it, is that if you're taking that finance out, it means that they say that you are perceived to be not able to manage your finances each month. Therefore, how are you going to manage the biggest loan you ever take out?
So people need to get away from the fact that they'll say, well, it's finishing in 2 months, it's going to be okay. You're putting stuff on short-term finance.
That stays on your credit report for 6 years. Any credit you have doesn't just drop off once you finish paying it. It'll stay on your report to be viewed by a lender for 6 years.
It's Clan are ringing you there if you want to short-term lending. But these are little things. It's these little things that will basically allow you to, if you're educated correctly, it'll mean you won't make mistakes now, which may not have an impact and you won't even realise now, but could have a detrimental effect on the future you.
Yes.
And that's no different to us talking about saving, investing, putting money aside for the future. Whatever we talk about is always for the person. It's not for an organisation or something. It's for the future. It's for you. Just put it into a pension, an ISA. You get the money in the future, but it's just planning for the future you in the right format. And education is totally incorrect in the world of finance, as is the understanding of these has-beens that try and run Welsh Rugby.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it is learning about how to manage your money and how to do things effectively. And actually, on that note, we've actually got some courses and subscription services coming up soon, which you'll hear about in the new year. We'll link to some of the webinars which will relate to it and some of the information you can find about in the notes below. There's lots to come, because I think we all need some education when it comes to money.
It's probably a re-education, isn't it? The things that our parents told us were correct are going to be actually incorrect and wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
We may even bring out a book to talk about something like that.
Yeah, and that's coming soon as well.
January.
Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe and remember to follow us on social media for more content like this.